Hey, first thing I got to get off my chest. It's been bugging me for a few days. It's the last video I talked about Gary Moore and how I liked his music, and I'm digging deeper into his catalog. There was a live album that I picked up in the last music hall that I pointed out, Wishing Well. When I saw him in 1983, he had this killer intro into Wishing Well, which is not his song. It's a song recorded by a band that the band Free, which was pre-Bad Company, Paul Rodgers, and Simon, I don't know, it wasn't Mick, yeah, whatever. Paul Rodgers, the main guy. Anyway, I credited that song in the first video to Mr. Big. And here, I'll draw the dots for you so you can see where the train went off the track. Free recorded a song called Mr. Big. It's a great song. I'm Mr. Big, the band, fan too. So somewhere in there, Mr. Big popped in my head. Anyway, the song Wishing Well was recorded by Free, and Gary Moore covered it. I think it was kind of a staple in his live set. Anyway, having said that, I dug in a little bit deeper, even to Gary Moore. Turned around, went back to my buddy's store, and picked up this. This is Back on the Streets. I'm not sure if this is his first album. I think it's side the, not this one, of course. One of these. There's a catalog listing. You can see here. I assume in chronological order, or at least what's been remastered. So, Corridors of Power I bought last time. Run for Cover I've had. Anyway, so back on the streets. Okay, so Back on the Streets I got. I picked up this Victims of the Future. Fantastic. Back on the Streets was good. Victims of the Future is a fantastic album. And finally, Wild Frontier. This was, I was like very leery of buying in the first place, but I went ahead and I picked it up. Sorry. This has been great. This did not leave my CD player for the last 2 days. I've been listening to it over and over as much as I can get in. It's great. Very good. If you need a jumping on point for Gary Moore, Wild Frontier. Spectacular album. Okay. So, music related, the last thing I gotta add. Because I've been going on with the White Snake. I bought the box sets. They've got a new studio album coming out, which my stupid ass will probably buy. Because sometimes I'm more dollars and cents. Anyway, again, I wasn't going to buy the deluxe edition of Slide It In because I thought, how much Slide It In does one person need? But they always throw in a little bit of a catch. They said, okay, well, we're going to give you this live in Glasgow, 1984. That's going to be one of the perks of buying. So the completist in me says, we have to have it. And I started working a little bit of overtime. I started making a little bit more money, and then I started, well, it's an easy decision now. So the same goes for this, which I ended up buying the anniversary edition of, which is all you really fucking need. But I ended up buying the Whitesnake 1987 Deluxe, Super Deluxe Anniversary Edition. This is not unlike the other two box sets. It's got exclusive live recording. Let me see here. CD2 snakeskin boots. It's it looks like it very possibly a complete 87 concert from, well, I don't know where from, but it goes into some of the older stuff. Crying in the Rain, great song. And it's got demos and remixes, kind of like the other ones. And it also has the one DVD. So I bought it. All right. Cheers. Tonight's beer is the Extra Special Bitter Ale by Three Floyds, the Lord Rear Admiral. Let's see that. Lord Rear Admiral. Three Floyds is local to me, just across the border in Munster, Indiana. They make a good beer. I mean, I've liked several of their beers. Never been to the brewery, and it's, like I said, just across the border. But they're expanding now. I know that. Anyway, it's pretty good. This is a pretty good beer. It's not an IPA. IPAs are hit or miss for me. You get some that have too much of a citrus taste to it that lingers after you drink it. It's not into that. This is more of a traditional, I guess, ale, which is, like I said, it's pretty tasty. So I wanted to get this in because I started drinking. I had like 2 of those Tala beers left. I finished those up, and I wanted to get into this because this weekend will be my first full long weekend in the last month. I get 2 a month. So I didn't get I didn't get one last time I had to work, but during that long weekend. This time it's going to be a true long weekend, 3 days off, and it's going to be a whiskey weekend. So, all right, now I'm going to move into the movies section here. So this is, first off, this will probably be kind of quick, but this is a small portion of a much larger order that I have out in the wild. So I ordered from 3 places. I ordered from Shout Factory. I ordered from Severin Films, and I ordered from Grindhouse Video, which is not a label, but just a distributor and a store down in Tampa. And the reason I ordered from Grindhouse was because I wanted to test the water, so to speak, and see, first of all, what their prices were compared to other distributors like Diabolic and even Amazon and Deep Discount, which I don't really use anyway. But and so far, yeah, I placed the order with Grindhouse. I don't even remember when, like just within the last couple of days, and it was either the same day or the very, very next day early that I got the notification that they've already shipped my order. So I'm really excited about that. And their prices were competitive. I mean, at least competitive. Some of the things that I found were like very cheap that I thought, this is great. But anyway, so of the 3 orders, and Grindhouse really doesn't count because I didn't place it when I placed these other 2, with Shout and Severn. Now, Severn, I believe I'm waiting on. They might have been potentially pre-orders, and they won't send anything out until your order's complete. So, and I've got patience, and I've got a ton of movies I can watch. So the Shout one came in, and with Shout, I didn't order anything I haven't already seen. Okay, these are just Blu-ray versions of it, of these movies, and I've seen these. I don't normally double dip, but in some cases I do, and in this case I did. So we're going to start with this. Valley Girl. This got Nick Cage, Deborah Foreman, Elizabeth Daily. Potentially know her better as Dottie from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Anyway, watch this earlier. This is one of the movies that I've seen quite a few times, and I don't know what the draw is. I cannot pinpoint what the draw is, other than I think it's just kind of an endearing movie. It's not particularly funny. It's to me, I don't know, it's just one of those movies, the 80s movies that I watched over and over and over, and I don't know, it feels like I had to have it. The thing that sets this off, sets this apart from every other version that I've seen probably, is the extras. The extras are fucking deep and they're fantastic. There's one on here about, let's see if I can find it here. Greetings from the Valley. Wow. I'm a location guy. I really love locations. So this takes you down like through Hollywood, but it also takes you into San Fernando Valley, and they point out some of the things that you don't know. Like Sherman Oaks Galleria is one of the more filmed, maybe the most filmed mall location. Ever. It was the mall for Chopping Mall. It was the mall for Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's been filmed for this. So anyway, it's just one of those movies I go back to off and on for the last 40 years, 30 years, whatever the hell it's been around. My math is not good. Moving on to title number 2. The Jerk. What can I say about The Jerk? It's completely goofy. Steve Martin. This was a lot of people's first, some of their first introduction to Steve Martin. Now, he had been on Saturday Night Live for a few years before, and several times. This is the 40th anniversary edition. It's a funny movie. It's funny, and it's stupid funny, and like the Anchorman or some movies like that. They're just it's dumb humor, and it appeals to maybe my sensibilities anyway. It's funny, and I'm gonna get around to watching that one soon. Um, the other one here, this is another Nick Cage. It's a David Lynch movie. It's Wild at Heart. I remember liking this a lot when I first saw it, and I've only seen it like probably twice. But the sale was really good on this, and it's one I don't have in my collection. So this is definitely the only title I think that I bought that I did not double dip. So yeah, that one's there's just something about a David Lynch movie that some people don't get them. Some people are like, it's just weird. They're good. They're good movies, but you really got to be that type of fan, I guess. Okay, moving on. Like I said, this is a pretty short haul, or a pretty small haul, but there's a lot more out there, and they're coming, and I'll do a video on them. Okay, this is the complete Billy Jack collection. The only thing I can tell you, and I've got this on DVD, this is Blu-ray. The thing I'll say about the Billy Jack movies is that when Billy Jack came out, I was young. I was very young. I believe it's rated R. I wasn't allowed to go see those types of movies. The Exorcist was one of the big ones at the same time period. Billy Jack. Billy Jack is pretty tame. It's a pretty tame horror movie. Okay. The only thing I can think of that's in there is the rape of Billy Jack's girlfriend. And it's not graphic. It's not irreversible. Let's talk about, let's just say that it's not irreversible. Anyway, it's a series of 4 movies. It starts out with Born Losers, and Billy Jack, the character, takes on a biker gang. Move on to Billy Jack. Billy Jack, the movie is he's just he's Indian, at least a partial Indian. That may not be politically correct, but hybrid. Anyway, Billy Jack is trying to keep the peace between a school, which pretty much students are of an Indian origin. Anyway, I'm not always good at this. I never said that I was good at this. And I don't prepare anything, obviously. But so anyway, he just kicks ass. He's Billy Jack, man. I mean, he fucks up the white man. And it's just a good movie. There's 2 other movies on here, and I like both of them, to be honest with you. I think they're both very good. The other one was Trial of Billy Jack, and then the Billy Jack Goes to Washington. They're both, all 4 movies are very good. Billy Jack is really the standout movie. I kind of got the thing going here, even though he was Billy Jack in Born Losers. Okay, last movie that I have here. Just check on the score of the A's game. They're winning. Last movie, next movie in the player. Used Cars with Kurt Russell. Actually a pretty decent cast on this. Gary Graham, he would recognize. He's one of those guys that doesn't have the instantaneously recognizable name. but he's the guy that appears in the movie that you say, oh, I've seen that guy before. I know where, I don't remember where, but he's been in a lot of movies. It's got Jack Warden and Deborah Harmon, Frank McRae. It's a movie that I own on DVD, but I haven't seen it in years. I remember watching it on probably HBO or probably HBO, because I think HBO was the only thing we ever had. But still, it's one of those movies that God, I don't even really remember too much about it, but I liked it, and that's why it got ordered. I thought there was one more movie that I ordered that did not show up on my order list after they sent these out, which was Roadhouse with Patrick Swayze. That's one movie that I need to pick up. I don't believe that I have it on DVD, and I definitely don't have it on Blu-ray. And I'm pretty much, I'm buying Blu-rays now more than probably DVDs. But anyway, so that's it. Those are my movies, or that's just my movie haul, partial music haul. I will cover the rest of the movies when they come in. The next piece I think I got to put together is just a collector's haul. I collect probably too much. Hoard may be more of the sensibility. Although I think the fine line between hoarders and collectors is I'm focused on, well, me personally, I'm focused on many different things to collect. Whereas a hoarder looks at something and says, well, I don't know when or who, but somebody or at some point I may be able to use this, and I need as much of that as possible. I look at the collecting angle as more of a this somewhere down the line, somebody in my family is going to make some money, at least, not that they're probably going to sell it for what I pay for. By all means, you got to find that specific person that's going to pay the money, but you're going to find, at least they're going to make some money off of it. The hoarders, we're talking about newspapers and chicken bones, nobody's going to pay for that kind of shit. So that's it. I'm going to get back to this A's game, and I'm going to drink a lot of this beer because I got 5 more of them in the fridge. And I'll see you next time. So long.